Welcome to our deep dive on emotion prompts.
Oh, yeah.
We've got a whole stack of research here
Yeah.
about this new technique in prompt engineering, for LLMs,
Yeah.
large language models. And
Right.
it seems like everyone's talking about how to use
Yeah.
emotionally charged language and even classic persuasion tactics to influence an LLM's output.
Absolutely.
It's pretty wild.
It is.
So I'm really curious to unpack this all with you and see what we can learn.
Me too. It's
Yeah.
definitely a hot topic.
Yeah.
And for good reason.
Yeah.
We're finding that by carefully crafting these prompts with
Yeah.
emotional weight,
Right.
we can really shape the AI's output in some really interesting ways.
Yeah.
I think the research we're going to go through today
Huh?
really highlights how powerful this approach can be.
Okay, so let's just jump right in.
Yeah.
One thing that really stood out to me in all this research is how emotion prompts tap into an LLM's ability to actually understand and respond to emotions.
It's true.
It's like we're communicating with them on a whole new level,
Yeah.
almost like we would with another person.
Yes. And that's a key point, I think,
Right.
that we need to keep in mind.
Yeah.
The way that LLMs are trained
Yeah.
allows them to process and respond to emotional cues in language,
Uh-huh.
much like humans do.
Yeah.
And that opens up a whole new world of possibilities
Right.
for how we interact with them.
It's definitely a big shift from simply giving AI instructions.
Right.
Now we're talking about persuasion,
Exactly.
using techniques like appeals to emotion,
Uh-huh.
logic, even authority.
Oh, yeah.
It's fascinating to see how these classic persuasive strategies
Yeah.
are being applied to AI now.
And they can be very effective.
Yeah.
For instance, one study that we have here shows that
Great.
framing a prompt to highlight the positive impact of a particular solution
Yeah.
can significantly influence the LLM's response. It's as if you're appealing to its sense of purpose or responsibility.
Yeah. It makes me think about all the potential applications for this,
Uh-huh.
especially in creative fields.
Yeah.
I'm picturing writers using emotion prompts
Right.
to generate stories with specific emotional arcs.
Absolutely.
Or marketers crafting ad copy.
Yeah,
That truly resonates with a target audience's desires and aspirations.
for sure. The implications for storytelling,
Yeah.
marketing, even problem solving are immense.
Wow.
We're seeing research on how emotion prompts can encourage LLMs to come up with more innovative solutions to complex challenges.
It's like we're giving the AI a muse,
Right.
inspiring it to think outside the box and tap into its creative potential.
Exactly.
But before we get too carried away, I think it's important to address the technical side of things.
Yeah.
How do emotion prompts actually work?
Oh,
What's going on under the hood?
a lot of it comes down to how LLMs are trained
Okay.
and the mechanisms they use to process language. For example, emotional embeddings play a crucial role.
I've heard that term thrown around,
Yeah.
but I'm not entirely sure I grasp it.
Sure.
Can you break it down for us?
Of course.
Yeah.
Essentially, LLMs learn to represent words and phrases
Okay.
as vectors
Uh-huh.
in a multidimensional space,
Right.
capturing their meaning in relationships.
Yeah.
Emotional embeddings take this a step further
Okay.
by encoding emotional information,
Interesting.
allowing the AI to grasp the emotional connotations
Uh-huh.
of the language it's processing.
So it's not just understanding the dictionary definition of a word.
Right.
It's also understanding the feelings associated with that word.
Exactly.
That's pretty remarkable.
It is. And when you combine that
Well,
with another key mechanism,
Mhm.
attention,
okay.
things get even more interesting.
Attention. What role does that play in emotion prompts?
Attention mechanisms are what allow LLMs to focus on specific parts of the input
Okay.
when generating a response. By strategically using emotionally charged language in our prompts,
Uh-huh.
we can actually influence these attention mechanisms.
Interesting.
We can highlight certain words or phrases
Okay.
to shape how the AI understands and responds to our request.
So it's like we're guiding the AI's focus.
Exactly.
Directing its attention to the emotional core of what we're trying to communicate.
Yes.
That's a powerful tool to have in our arsenal.
It is, and as we're starting to see,
Yeah.
it has the potential to fundamentally change how we interact with AI.
Well, this is all incredibly fascinating.
Yeah.
We're only just scratching the surface here.
No.
But I already feel like we're getting a good grasp on the basics of emotion prompts.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
This is great.
it is. Yeah, it really is a fascinating area
Yeah.
of research.
Uh-huh.
And as with any new technology, there's a lot to learn about how to use emotion prompts
Right.
effectively and responsibly.
Yeah.
We have quite a few studies here
Okay.
that dive deeper into the specifics. Yeah. One thing that really struck me as we were prepping for this whole deep dive
Yeah.
is the sheer variety of applications for emotion prompts.
Oh, for sure.
We've talked about creative writing and marketing,
Right.
but I'm curious to explore other fields where this technology could have a significant impact.
Uh-huh.
What else are we seeing in the research?
Well, one area that's particularly intriguing
Okay.
is education.
Okay.
Imagine using emotion prompts to create more engaging
Uh-huh.
and personalized learning experiences.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Think about how a tutor might adapt their teaching style based on a student's emotional state.
Right.
Could emotion prompts help us create AI tutors that are equally responsive and effective?
That's precisely what some researchers are exploring.
Wow.
We have one study here
Okay.
that focuses on developing an AI-powered language learning app that can detect and respond to a student's frustration or discouragement.
So instead of just repeating the lesson over and over,
Right.
the app could offer words of encouragement,
Exactly.
adjust the difficulty level, or even suggest a different learning strategy
Yeah,
based on the student's emotional cues.
exactly. It's about creating a more empathetic and individualized learning experience
Wow.
that caters to each student's unique needs and emotional state.
That could be a game changer for education,
Right.
especially for students who struggle with traditional learning methods.
Yeah.
It could also make learning more engaging and enjoyable for everyone.
Absolutely. And beyond education, we're seeing research on how emotion prompts
Okay.
could be applied to healthcare.
Now, that's an area where empathy is absolutely crucial.
Yeah.
I can see how this technology could be incredibly valuable.
Think about a virtual assistant that can not only provide medical information,
Right.
but also detect subtle emotional cues in a patient's voice or text messages.
So if someone's expressing anxiety or fear,
Yeah.
the assistant could alert a human healthcare provider, ensuring that the patient receives the appropriate care and support.
That's one potential application.
Wow.
We're also seeing research on using emotion prompts
Okay.
to develop AI-powered mental health chatbots
Interesting.
that can offer coping mechanisms, resources, and support to those struggling with emotional distress.
It's amazing to think about how this technology could help us bridge the gap in mental health care access,
Yeah,
providing support and guidance to those who might not have access to traditional therapy.
absolutely. And even in the workplace, emotion prompts could have a significant impact
Okay.
on communication and collaboration.
Interesting.
Imagine a project management tool
Okay.
that can detect signs of conflict or tension within a team.
Instead of just flagging the issue, it could use emotion prompts to encourage team members to communicate
Right.
more openly and constructively.
Exactly.
Maybe even suggest strategies for conflict resolution.
Exactly. It's about using AI to facilitate more empathetic and productive interactions, creating a more positive and supportive work environment.
These are just a few examples, but it's clear that emotion prompts have the potential to transform a wide range of fields.
It is.
It's exciting to see how this technology is evolving and the innovative ways it's being applied.
It is exciting, and it's important to remember that we're still in the early stages of development.
Right.
There are many challenges and considerations that we need to address
Of course.
as this technology becomes more widespread.
Yes, and speaking of challenges, I think it's crucial that we dedicate some time to discussing the potential downsides and ethical implications of emotion prompts.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, for sure.
It is.
On the one hand, we have this incredible potential to enhance communication, personalize experiences, and even create more empathetic AI. But on the other hand, we have to be very careful about how this technology is developed and used.
That's right. And one of the key challenges we need to address is the potential for misuse.
Emotion prompts could be used to manipulate or deceive people, especially if they're not aware of how the technology works.
We've seen how persuasive emotionally charged language can be.
Right.
Imagine that power amplified by AI.
Yeah.
It's a bit unsettling to think about how this could be used for malicious purposes.
For sure.
Like spreading misinformation or propaganda.
And even with like benign intentions, there's the risk of unintentionally reinforcing biases that already exist within the AI's training data.
Okay.
If we're not careful, emotion prompts could lead to AI systems that perpetuate harmful stereotypes or discriminate against certain groups of people.
It's a sobering reminder that we need to be incredibly thoughtful and responsible.
Absolutely.
As we develop and deploy this technology.
Yeah.
We can't just assume it'll be used for good.
Right.
We need to actively build in safeguards and ethical guidelines to prevent misuse.
I agree. And beyond those concerns, we need to think about the broader societal impact of emotion prompts. As AI systems become more adept at understanding and responding to our emotions, what does that mean for our relationships with technology and with each other?
It's a fascinating question.
It is.
On the one hand, it could lead to more meaningful and empathetic interactions with AI.
Right.
But on the other hand,
Yeah.
it could also blur the lines between human and machine in a way that makes us uncomfortable.
And it raises questions about authenticity and autonomy.
Right.
If AI can be persuaded by emotions, does that mean our own emotions are becoming more easily manipulated? Are we losing control over our own feelings and decisions?
These are deep philosophical questions
They are.
that we'll need to grapple with as emotion prompts become more integrated into our lives.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that technological advancements always have societal implications.
For sure.
We need to have these conversations now so we can shape the future of this technology in a way that aligns with our values.
I completely agree. It's also important to remember that emotion prompts are just one piece of a larger puzzle. As AI continues to evolve, we'll likely encounter even more complex and nuanced challenges.
Well, I think this has been an incredibly insightful deep dive.
It has.
We've covered a lot of ground, from the technical underpinnings of emotion prompts to their potential applications, limitations, and ethical implications.
It's true.
It's clear that this is a rapidly evolving field, with the potential to reshape our relationship with AI in profound ways.
It certainly has been a fascinating discussion.
Yeah.
I think the key takeaway is that emotion prompts offer incredible opportunities, but also demand careful consideration.
Right.
As we move forward, we need to prioritize responsible development transparency and ongoing dialogue about the societal impact of this powerful technology.
Well said. And that brings our deep dive to a close.
Great talking with you.
Thanks for joining us on this journey of exploration.
Of course.
We hope you found it as thought-provoking as we did.